All right, this is it. We're just gonna do it. So I've been planning on this for a long while, and what I got here, this is from Card Kingdom. It's a relatively recent purchase. It is a 4th edition English starter deck, all the way from 1995. So you guys can get a good look at that. So what are we doing here? It's just another pack opening. Well, not exactly. So I want to create a series. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so this is just being done for fun. And I figured you guys might want to take a look and watch and follow along. So here we are, making a series. I plan to start with this, and then, crack into this. And eventually I got more starters. And I've got some loose packs too. So that's just a few. Got a bunch. I'm going to put together a complete pack fresh set. So I started playing Magic a very long time ago. It would have been the summer of 1995. My best friend introduced it to me. He had picked up a bunch of cards, stack about that big, from like Boy Scouts or something like that. And he was introducing it to me. And we just sat around this deck, and we both drew 7 cards, and we both played directly from the same stack, and we had no clue what we were doing. We were putting instants on creatures like they were enchantments and whatnot. So I was hooked. I liked it. So I went down to the game store and I bought one of these. And the reason I bought one of these was because I found out that it had the rule book in there. And then I read the rule, and boom, I've been a huge fan of Magic the Gathering ever since. But probably like a lot of you, if you've been around for a while, you've probably sold off your collection, and maybe you're here and you're coming back to it. I did that like 3 times, and I regret every bit of it. One of the things that I like to do early on was put together sets. So I had this idea that I would start putting together sets again. So I put together 4th edition as my first, because that's where it all began. And I started going in either direction to put together sets, and I've been doing that ever since. So it's now like 5 years of doing that. But one of the things that I did first was just kind of go to eBay and grab a bunch of crap. And then I use Cardsphere, so I got a bunch of trades. And then, I went to Card Kingdom and I filled in the last pockets, and boom, I finished it. And I enjoyed it so much, I kept on going. But what I really, really wish I had was those sets that I put together back in 1995, 96, 97. Those are super nostalgic, and they're gone. They're out there in the world somewhere, and somebody's got them. Probably torn apart a million times over, and wherever they landed, they landed. So what I wanted to do is replace my 4th edition set with a pack fresh version today, as if it was put together then, so I could put it away in the the vault of mine, and pass it on to the kids, do whatever in retirement, get rid of it, whatever. It's nostalgic, right? So I wanted to put that as kind of like the starting centerpiece of my collection. I've got some amazing cards over the years, but the amount of pack fresh stuff from this era is small. Like, maybe I have a card at this point after selling off everything. So here we go. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to start with this starter deck, and I'm going to break it all out. We're going to look at the lands and make sure I get one of each individual art. I'm going to sleeve them. I'm going to put them in a binder. I've got a couple of them here. I use the ones from Binder Tech. I like these guys because they come with the protective sleeve. I've got all my pages in there, and we're just going to knock it out, right? I got a list of every card and what in order, and I like mine in alphabetic. I've also got this bigger binder, and I think I'm actually going to end up using this after today. So after I do the video, I'll probably migrate it over here. And the reason being is, it's going to take a lot, right? Like, so the set has 378 cards in it, 15 basic lands, right? And then we have commons, uncommons, and rares. And this is kind of unique because back in the day there was 121 of each of those. So you just take 121 rares. That's a minimum of 121 packs if I get no duplicates. So you divide that by, 36 packs in a booster box. I'm going to be opening probably 4 booster boxes just to get this done. Hence the reason why it's going to be series, because we're going to do it over time. But when I get a duplicate, I'm going to make a spillover set. And I'm going to try to, get that to that complete, absolute, true mint pack fresh for my personal collection, just for me to marvel at, show the kids, do whatever. And then I'll make that spillover. And we'll see how far it gets. Who knows? Maybe I open like 5 booster boxes, 6 booster boxes over the next couple years. Who knows? Just to try to complete this. And then, I'll keep going and maybe complete that second one. But if I even have more spillover, I'll make complete sets of commons or complete sets of uncommons. And from there, I'll just I'll make a Shopify or an eBay account, and I'll let them go out to the wild. And so you guys can get kind of my leftovers. When we get past the starter deck, so I want to start here because this was the only packs that came with the land at the time. So this is coming out of Revised, where you could open a booster pack and get land in there. You can go to the starter decks and get random land in places all throughout. These guys are now a separate 20 land. So I do have 2 starters today. I'll probably need to go to a third. We'll see. I'll do those every now and again, just to kind of do like a big ramp. And then I'm going to keep track of how many packs I open, what the cost is today, what the cost is I spent, because I've been collecting these through COVID, so some of them are hiked in price, and some of them are, modern, and I'm grabbing them here and there. But my idea is I'm going to open up like a sealed booster box, and we'll take 2 packs of these, and I'll take 1 loose pack that I get, like this one's from eBay. I bought it in 21 for $48, which is a little high for today's standard. So I'll take 2 of these, which I'll consider to be, really good, and I'll splash in the rando. So, maybe I could get duplicate rares. Maybe I could get duplicate cards. Like, it's not going to be from that random assortment in this box, or this box to the next box even. We're just going to splash some things. So, maybe I open up 2 Mana Vaults or 2 Mahamodis, something to spice it up, right? So next video, I'll crack into this. Today's video, we're going to start here. Like I said, I'm going to use completely clear Dragon Shield products. I love their product. In fact, the sleeves, the inserts I'm going to be using, the good Dragon Shield guys. So we're going to be nabbing a SureFit, throwing it into a regular sleeve, and then popping it in. Now, I won't bore you guys with all of that, so we'll do a lot of the opening, and then maybe I'll record it, but just like fast forward it or whatever through the video, so you guys don't have to sit through all of that. But here we go. I'm nervous. You can probably hear it in my voice. I haven't opened a starter deck of 4th edition. Gosh, it's been since the 90s. Like, it's probably been 95, 96. So when I started, it would have been the summer. This would have been out for about a month or 2. And at the time, you could pick up Revised packs. They were still out there. Fallen Empires was right before this. And then we had things like Homelands and Chronicles and Alliances. So, if this kind of series, like, people want to follow it, then, I'll probably bleed into something else next. And some maybe the more iconic ones that are from, my Magic career, we'll say. But here we go. My hands are shaking. So this is it. So I did a bit of videos watching before this, just to kind of remember what the rare, common, and placement of everything is when you open these bad boys. And so it should be a block of land, and then I've seen 2 different videos. I've seen then the 3 rares followed by 9 uncommons, and then the rule book and separated by the 20 commons. And I've seen the uncommons first, then the rares, then the rule book, and then the commons and 2. So we're gonna just kind of wing it and see where we go. Man, that box, like, this is really good. Okay, so this one came from Card Kingdom. They always tout that they're opening. Yeah, there it is. So that's the uncommons. They always tout that their stuff comes from, boxes that they open themselves, right? So I'm kind of going on the, that they didn't get scanned by picking up from an untrustworthy source or whatnot. But we're just going to slice down the book here so as to not put any stress on the cards. Gosh, Mr. Factory. I loved that card back in the day. I played with that all the time. That was in almost all of my decks. All right, so I'm going to assume that I didn't do it enough. Here we go. All right, like I said, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I haven't done this before on camera. This is all new to me, like it's new to you. And man, this is awesome. Jeez, they are. If you pick up a 4th edition today, it's been played, like you can tell. 3, 6, 9. Okay, so there's your uncommons. So that's got to be my rare, right? So it was interesting to see that some of them was rare, then uncommon, and some others were uncommon, then rare. And here we go. And this one, check that out. Okay. All right, so there's commons. We're going to put those aside. All right, so again, because we're focusing on the completion of a set, right? Art matters. Art absolutely matters because there was 3 art variants in each of these, and yeah, they were kind of brought in from Revised, but you want to make sure that you get them all. So what we're going to do is stand up and see the camera a little bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start collecting all the arts and put them in piles here. See if I get every version, right? Like I think that's that's all 3 right there. So great, maybe I don't need another one, but I highly doubt it. There's got to be. There's the mountain. Okay, so there's like a duplicate, so that'll spill over. There we go, more plains, so that'll spill over. That'll spill over. There we go. We got all the plains, all the swamps with an extra. There we go. Okay, spill over. Island. Wow, that's better than I could have hoped for. I thought I was not going to get this, but we'll see. There we go, triples. There we go. We got the forests, more plains. That is that one. And there we go. More duplicate. Okay, so I am missing a mountain, but we got everything else. Man, that's great. I was not expecting that. So what I'm going to do now is stop talking, and I'll fast forward through this, but I'm going to sleeve them up, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so like I said, I'm also going to put them in these guys. Now, you might think that that's overkill, but what happens is on the SureFit sleeves, when they go into these guys, there's a lot of wiggle room and they'll slide out a lot. So what this is trying to do is pick that larger size sleeve. And again, like I don't do this on everything. I literally only do this on stuff I'm going to pack, right? All my other sets, I pretty much just put them in the regular sleeves, throw them in there, but I just wanted that extra level of protection there. So moving on, again, I'm not gonna make you watch it, so I'll do it all in fast mode, but All right, so there they are. Now, looking at a couple of these, you can see they're off-centered. The backs don't look too bad, but you can see a little bit there. But so, I might promote from the next pack, right? And to get something a little bit more cherry, more representative of a specimen, right? And so, that begs the question, like, okay, why aren't you just going for all graded? Like that's ridiculous. It's 4th edition, guys. So this is a nostalgia train. This is not a value project here. Like I'm going to lose a lot of money by putting this together, but it's all for the feels, right? This is all for me recapturing youth. Like I remember opening all these. These feel absolutely amazing. They are ancient in today's standards, right? So yeah, I realize that the booster boxes alone, and you're not getting your value out. This is all for just the enjoyment. So that being said, we're going to move on to the uncommons, and I'll get these put into a binder, and we'll be back. And there we go. So the groundwork is set. Now, so these ones, they will also be sleeved. They'll go into the spillover set, and any of the tertiary I will throw into individual, I guess, sales. You'll have to bear with me as I get a shop set up, but we'll go from there. All right, next we're going to do commons, followed by uncommons, and then rares. So one sec. So I highly doubt we're going to get duplicates here. I don't remember opening the packs, whether or not I got duplicates. But here we go. Pit Scorpion, Venom, Flood, Brainwash. There you go. Terror. Definitely an MVP back in the day. Ironroot Treefolk. And there's a nice one. Red Elemental Blast. Holy Armor. Did play with that. Played with Flood. Played with this. Played with Terror. I think I tried out Paralyze, and I don't think it was for me. I think I'd rather have put in an Icy Manipulator or something like that to make them not be there when I need them to not be there. Tranquility, definitely played with that. Good. Still to today, if you're playing something like Commander and you need to wipe out a bunch of enchantments. Power Leak. I did play a counter deck at one point in time, and that was a part of it, back when those were, limited number of counter spells to choose from. Holy Strength, Battering Ram. God, man, these are so crisp. These are just absolutely so crisp. Creature Bond. Eternal Warrior. Vampire Bats. I tried making this guy work. I never really successfully did it. Kind of expensive mana dork, but, considering your alternatives at the time. Fireball, very nice. Pestilence. I played a lot of Pestilence. Definitely was a staple in black decks. Stream of Life. Definitely was a player. Zephyr Falcon. Man, not Vigilance back in the day, right? Like, was very powerful. Sarah Angels, right? Zephyrs. Throw them all together. Mons Goblin Raiders. Some of the earliest goblins. Merc Dwellers. Dirkwood Boars. 5 for a 4/4. There you go. And Energy Tap. There you go. I'm trying to remember if I used this. I recognize the card. I definitely had tons of these. That's a reprint too, isn't it? I think that's from one of the formers, if I recall correctly. I'm not 100% on that. A lot of revised was, you know, the power in it was taken out, and then they kind of backfilled with a lot of the stuff from the Four Horsemen, Arabian Nights, Legends, Antiquities, and the Dark. So some of these are definitely reprints, but there we are. So no duplicates, so that's good. So this is going to be 100% add to the set, and you know, stay tuned to the end because I will definitely be going on a overview of what was packed, how I'm going to record it, and you know, that'll be a nice little section at the end there. So all right, so I'm going to fast forward this as well. I'm going to go ahead and sleeve each individual one in both the SureFits and the regulars, and then I'll drop them in the binder, and we'll be right back. I don't know if you guys can see it in the video, but my hands are shaking. This is, again, like, this is really awesome for me. I'm just loving every minute of this. But yeah, so I'll get these done. So yeah, they're looking at it. We got all our commons. Now, one of the things that we used to do would be show up at the game store, local game store, on like a Sunday, and we would buy a starter deck and like 3 packs. And sometimes it would just be all 4th edition. Sometimes it would be 4th edition starter or an Ice Age starter, and then they would throw in, you know, whatever else you wanted to buy or dictate what you know, but 3 more booster packs, and you'd make a deck and we'd play, you know, that would be what we were doing that day. So looking at this, and you know, maybe in the next video looking at the 3, we'll just kind of roll it all together. We haven't looked at our uncommons or commons yet, so you know, not a lot of bombs here, but you know, as removal is concerned, you know, we've got Paralyze, Pestilence, Terror. So I'm leaning black on this one, just straight up as is. Again, we don't get nothing in the uncommons, and it's probably not worth going, but you know, black green's a good combo. You know, artifacts, yeah, we're not going to really see much amazing artifacts come out of 4th edition, minus the Mana Vault, Howling Mine, Millstone, but you know, will I pack those and will that make a decent deck? But anyways, looking at this, I've kind of done a quick version of alphabetical. I'm going to go ahead and get them in the binder, and we'll move on. Okay, there we are. We're done with commons. I'm sure I've got a couple more errors in there placing them, but once they all start falling in, it'll be easier to go from there. All right, here we go. Let's tackle uncommons. All right, now for some fun. Let's see what uncommons we got. So we know we got the Mishra's Factory. Beautiful. Again, a staple. I always had one in the deck somewhere. Simulacrum. I did play with this, but I think I eventually was like, it's not for me. But it was played for sure. Wall of Swords. Big Walls era. Defenders. Unable to attack. Definitely was one of my favorites, though. Glasses of Urza. Never really played with that. Fire Elemental. Almost in all my red decks. Circle Protection Artifacts out of Antiquities. Bog Wraith, a decent 3/3. Celestial Prism, again, 2 mana fixer. And the Wall of Water. So, you know, looking at this, the black cards would definitely help the black theme of the deck so far. But, you know, Fire Elemental can, of what we've seen, is a little bit more of a bomb. So I would include that. I probably would include that. Now I'm leaning black-red, which is not a bad combo. But these, they're so crisp. I don't know, like, I know I've said it before, but my hands are shaking. This is just exhilarating for me. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll sleeve them up, and we'll move on to rares. So yeah, so right before I put these into the binder, just looking again from that drafting perspective, what have I got so far? Definitely putting the Mishra's Factory in. You know, right now, strongly going black, probably black-green. Like, we know we saw the web as one of the rares, so that's another support in the green department. We still have the 3 packs for next week to add to our little deck here to see what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about black-green. Now, you know, when we get into the rares, obviously, I would love, you know, like Gaia's Liege or, you know, Mana Chickens, Birds of Paradise to round out that curve there. Maybe, I don't know, Lord of the Pit, maybe. Force of Nature, I don't know. Like, but the reality is I'm probably going to get a Death Lace and, you know, like an Ivory Tower or something like that. Like nothing ideal. But let me get these in and we'll find out. All right, there we go. Okay, moving on. Big reveal. Like I said, for our deck, I really want to see something that helps us out, right? Like, we still have the 3 more packs for next week, but we'll go with it. And for those who aren't following along, you know, classic drafting strategy, use the acronym BREAD, right? Like bombs, removal, evasion, aggro, and then everything else is dump, right? So that's how I've always draft. Usually, you know, you're drafting with 3 booster packs these days, whether or not you're doing it at your local game stores or you're like me and doing it with my buddies, where we all get together on a couple nights, have some beers and play some cards. But that's the general strategy, right? And then, you know, you got to also consider like some of the things that I'm calling out as combos. Like, they're not combos, but they pair well together, given the pool of cards, right? 1, we're doing just 4th edition, so the pool here is pretty darn small. But 2, like, there's only 2,000 cards or less at this point in 1995, right? You got Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, Revised, 4th, lots of copies in those, so you're not doubling up. And then you have your 4 Horsemen and Fallen Empires, and as long as I'm correct on that, like, that's not a whole lot of cards. So some of these, you know, the power level's really low compared to today's standards. The combos aren't combo-y like we know today. But you know, that's the power that we played with back then. That's all we knew. Little did we know what was going to come, right? So let's see where we go, right? So we know the web. You know, that's obviously leading me more towards that green. Ha! Will-o'-the-Wisp, there's your black defender. Flying and regen. And Armageddon. Wow. I thought for sure I was going to be pulling some, like, absolute crap for my first pack, but I am pleasantly surprised and pleased. You know, as far as, like, alphabetically, I'm filling out the front. I'm filling out the last couple cards on our deck. You know, I won't necessarily go white and play that Armageddon in this deck if I was basing it off of the cards open so far. But the three packs. What if I open up a Sarah Angel, right, and something a little more aggro, or they're heavy white, or some things like that. Then maybe. But so far it looks like black green would be the winner. I don't know that I have any massive bombs, and it's kind of light on removal. Definitely no draw, but the Mishra's Factory would be a good early block. So yeah, we'll see what we get in the other ones. If you're liking this so far and you want to continue to follow as we progress through the packs and see this collection built out, or if you're interested in any of the spillover, go ahead, like, subscribe. I'm new to all this. You know what to do. You've been watching on YouTube long enough. But yeah, hang tight. I'm going to recap everything that has been opened, including costs, and in the next section. And I'll put a completion rate down, and we'll see where we stand walking into the next week. But thank you for watching. If you stayed here till now, and hopefully you find the data stuff fun and exciting too. So I think I might have built it up a bit in my head before today, but yeah, my hands are still a bit shaking. But wow, that was a trip down memory lane. I thoroughly enjoyed every piece of that. So we're back up here on the computer so I can do a recap. And on my way up, I was thinking, maybe I'm going to print out black and white copies of the cards and fill in the 9 pages. That way you guys can see what has yet to be completed by being, without color, and then easily pick out the ones that have been completed. And it'll make it a little bit quicker to put things in to the pages anyway. So, but yes, here, this is the template. It's nothing special. I just kind of whipped it up earlier this week. It's definitely going to evolve over time, but here's what we're starting with. So what do we got here? First, I got the card number recorded. I don't usually pay a whole lot of attention to card number, only when we have like duplicates. So, mountain. Did I get card number 301, 2, or 3? I don't know. So helps me put them in order, keep track of those. We have a price column. I am a deckbox.org user. I have been for quite a long time. I have my entire collection recorded in there. So not just the sets that I'm completing, every single card, down to the commons, all the lands, everything. And I found it to be amazingly useful. Decks are in there. I love the platform. It's absolutely great. And we got the price because they do an aggregate of a multitude of different places. And it was just easy using that subscription that I've got to go in there, add it to the wish list, export, boom, got spreadsheet already started. So you can grab all these other pieces of the standard stuff that, the card's name, rarity. I think it even has the artist and things sometimes. But, I could have also gone to Gather, or probably Scryfall too. I don't know if they have an export feature. But anyways, we got the name. And regarding price, I updated this. I think it was the 15th. So the 15th of May, this was the price of the card. I'll probably do that every month, just at the beginning. So, persist all the way through the 4 weeks in a month, and then I'll update it at the beginning of the next month, just to kind of keep it up to date, right? We have the name of the card, followed by the rarity, uncommon, lands, commons, rares, all of it's in there. Order, this is just 1 through 378 to keep it in sorting order. Pages, this is 42 if I remember. Yep, 42 pages for this entire collection, and they each have 9 slots on the front and back, so it's 42 pages. But if you're doing the front and back, then obviously that's going to be 21 pages of those Dragon Shield ones. And so the formulas are set up in here in such a way that I can enter in one for the collected quantity. You can see the quantities on the right are all going up, and get rid of that, divide by zeros and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure after today, most of that's going to be gone. I am keep track of like condition and notes on things. This is what I usually do when I'm putting together a set. It might not be pertinent with this since we're opening things unless I get like natural spots. You know, a lot of the printing errors that happened back then, maybe some terrible centering or whatnot. I'll keep track of those kind of things. But like condition is pack fresh on 100% of these. There will be no entries into this from outside of these packs that I'm getting. So let's grab the data and see what we're working with today. Okay, here we go. So if we're looking at the completion of a set by quantity, there are 378 cards total in the set. Today we added 52. Yes, we opened 60 out of a starter deck. However, some of those lands were duplicates and we were short on one of those lands. We'll see that here in a sec. So 378, 52 added, remaining 326. That is a 14% complete. If we're evaluating the card values, the dollars, we're looking at a collected value of $28 as of today. If you sum up this entire column, it will be $351.37 as of, what did I say, the 15th. And that is a grand total of 8%. Now, I think our big winner obviously was the Armageddon. I mean, coming in at $10, not a huge win. I will, talk about the price that I paid for this box here in a sec. But we can do a quick filter. Right, Armageddon, $10. Probably the Mishra's. Yeah, Mishra's $2. And the Red Elemental Blast for $361, still popular. Probably in those Eternal formats, right? Okay. That was packed. All right, so as a breakdown of the individual types in the set, we have basic land. We got 14 out of the 15. Again, I would not have guessed that. That's pretty amazing. I'm pretty confident that I'm only going to need 2 starters. Might get another one along the way if I ever come across a good deal. But 14 out of 15 total, that's a 93%. Then we have commons, uncommons, and rares. We added 26, 9, and 3 respectively out of the 121 totals. So we have 21% of the commons, 7% of the uncommons, and 2% of the rares. So 52 grand total matches up above. 378, which is a 14% complete. There you go. That balances with that. And now we move on. Now, I did want to track how many packs this is going to take, right? Like, so if I use this and springboard to another set, just kind of looking at total number of cards, total number of rares, how many packs did it take to open? So I wanted to keep track of that. And so if you're watching any of my videos, you'll be able to check like where are we at in that whole progress. So today we had 1 starter deck open. That's a total of 60 cards. Like we said up above, we have a 52 that were a net add to the set, which is a yield of 86.7%, right? And, as I think about it, adding in the booster packs and then the total number of cards and this might not be the best view, but anyways, it works nonetheless. So if, the next one we add 3 booster packs, we'll add 45 cards. Who knows, maybe it'll be 35 that'll get net added to it. And that'll be a 77% yield, something like that. So you get the idea. We'll fine tune some metrics along the way. But I also wanted to look at what does this sort of thing cost, right? So I have a lot of stuff that I've collected over the last several years when I, thought about doing this. So I am buying through COVID. So some of these are going to be inflated prices because we did see a rise in value. Or cost, we'll say, for booster boxes and older stuff. And, I can remember I bought a 3rd edition set in like January, right before COVID struck. And then, those cards just like skyrocketed and I had to sell some to kind of recoup my costs. But, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see, starters and boosters, actual cost, recorded, total number, what's the average spend, and then we'll go and we'll add today's dollars as well just to see. So starter 1, the average per pack. What did I spend on that? I believe it was, 158.68, right? So average spend so far. Now I did buy another one and I have it, and I'll save that for some sort of a milestone, maybe when we complete all the commons or something. And we'll crack that one open and knock out the basic lands, and we'll see what gets added to the spillover set and tertiary quantities and whatnot. And you know what? And that's probably something I'll add for next week as well. I'll keep track of the spillover set here, and we can evaluate it as we go. But today's dollar. So we've got a couple different options to look at to determine like what's the cost going to be. I don't know if Goldfish. I know Stocks doesn't. They just have cards, but maybe. Looks like booster box only. Okay, so there you go. So you look over the last bit there. April 22. Obviously, things are starting to come down. But today's average there, $14.75. Looks like on eBay you can get it a little bit cheaper, and that's the TCG mid. So that's a good one. We should probably go to TCG. Let's hit Card Kingdom next, since that's where I bought it from. So you can see today's dollars on Card Kingdom. It is the 19th of May. A individual booster pack, $35. Fourth edition, 180. So, again, I bought it from them in January. I got it for a little bit cheaper, and they don't have any right now, but if they had an entire booster box, $1,200. So matching that eBay price. Let's just out of curiosity, let's look at TCG Player. $149.98. Including shipping from Mana Tutor. There you go. So looks like, so it looks like you can spend upwards of 200, but general going rate's about 150, which is about what I paid for it, right? And we know Card Kingdom's slightly a little bit higher, but again, I don't mind spending that with them because I know that they open these from what they consider to be genuine boxes, not resealed and whatnot. So what are you doing with your life if you're resealing 4th edition or anything that for that matter? But anyways, I digress. Okay, so back to here. Today's dollar, 150 at a min, right? But we'll check in on that in each video just to kind of get an idea of spending over time, plus what would it look like if you spent in today's dollars. There you go. And that's it. Right? So where do we go from here? We're going to open up sometime this week. I'll get down there and I'll record, and we'll open up 2 boosters out of that sealed booster box. We'll crack her open, and I'll add 1 eBay. And I will do, I wanted to get the Card Kingdom one in because I knew, I consider them the trusted source. I know everybody's got their opinions on what store's their favorite, and maybe what the experiences you've all had makes everybody a little bit different, but I consider them to be an authoritative source on whether or not those booster box have been tampered with. So I wanted to do that one first, but I will go first in, last out from here on, and I'll start all the way back. And so you will see like some inflated prices from COVID as we track those, but hopefully we'll get an idea here in, I don't know, let's say the next couple weeks, what kind of a pace we're going to set. But I look forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it. Again, do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, enter in some comments down below. Let me know 2 things. What more metrics you would consider seeing up top here? And 2, what was your first set that you ever started with? That'll help give me a little gauge of my audience age and starting era. All right? All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.